Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a close look at something really vital, World Autism Awareness Day, observed annually on April 2nd.
And for this deep dive, we've focused on a key piece of information, the message from UN Secretary-General António Guterres, to help you understand why this day holds such significance on a global scale.
Exactly. Our goal is to, cut through the noise and bring you the core insights, the knowledge that truly explains what this day is about and why it should matter to you. Now, the central theme for 2025 is particularly thought-provoking: advancing neurodiversity and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Okay, let's unpack this. For you, what does it mean to connect the understanding and acceptance of different ways of thinking? That's what neurodiversity encompasses, with a specific focus on autism to these worldwide goals for creating a better future.
Well, what's truly fascinating for you to consider is this direct link being made. It highlights how recognizing and valuing the different ways our brains are wired, including those of autistic individuals, isn't just about individual well-being. It actively fuels our collective progress, as outlined in the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
All right.
Think of it, this level of inclusivity can actually drive positive change across the globe. For example, individuals with autism often possess exceptional skills in areas like pattern recognition, detailed analysis.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine how these abilities could directly contribute to specific SDG targets, like, say, driving innovation in sustainable tech, or meticulously analyzing environmental data. That's a concrete insight into the power of this connection.
That really does make the link tangible. Now, the Secretary-General's message, it doesn't paint an entirely rosy picture, does it?
No, not at all.
He rightly acknowledges the enormous contributions that people with autism make globally, which is so important to recognize. But then he immediately shifts to the significant challenges that persist. Why is it crucial for you, the listener, to keep both of these realities in mind?
Well, it creates a vital sense of urgency and underscores why continued awareness and action are necessary for you and everyone. Recognizing the contributions, well, that celebrates the inherent value and potential within the autistic community.
Yeah.
However, focusing on the challenges reminds us that these contributions are often hampered by societal barriers and attitudes. This tension is why dedicating a specific day to awareness and action remains so important for driving real change in people's lives, including yours.
Right. And some of these challenges he mentions, isolation, stigma, and inequality, these are big concepts. Can you give us some specific examples drawn directly from the UN's info of how these manifest, like in daily life?
Sure. The message brings to light some very fundamental denials of rights. For instance, consider the difficulties in accessing proper healthcare and education, challenges that are amplified during times of crisis. Furthermore, there's the deeply concerning issue of legal capacity.
Legal capacity. What exactly does that entail?
It refers to the fundamental right to make your own legal decisions. Things like consenting to medical treatment or managing your finances.
Okay, basic adult decisions.
Exactly. And for autistic individuals, this right is often unfairly challenged or denied. Think about how that would impact someone's ability to live a self-determined life. It's huge.
That's incredibly fundamental, being denied the agency to make your own choices.
Wow. And the Secretary-General directly connects this discrimination to the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and the SDG's commitment to leave no one behind.
Yes, he does.
How does understanding that connection strengthen the case for change in your mind?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, the listener, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is a cornerstone international agreement. It affirms the human rights of all persons with disabilities.
The SDGs, on the other hand, they provide a broad framework of goals aimed at achieving a more just and sustainable world for everyone.
Okay.
So, by explicitly stating that the discrimination faced by people with autism violates both of these frameworks, the Secretary-General emphasizes that this isn't just like a niche concern.
No, it's bigger.
It's a violation of basic human rights and a direct obstacle to achieving the global development goals that are meant to be inclusive of you and everyone else.
It really frames the issue within a global imperative. That makes sense. Now, to help you better understand this whole conversation, let's delve a bit into what autism spectrum disorder actually is.
Good idea.
The WHO provides a definition, describing it as a diverse group of conditions related to development of the brain. What are the key things you should take away from this definition?
The most crucial word for you to remember there is diverse.
Diverse, okay.
It immediately tells you that autism isn't a single uniform condition, but rather a spectrum with a vast array of ways it can present itself. The definition also points to brain development. indicating a neurological basis.
Hmm.
Additionally, it notes that while certain characteristics, such as differences in social interaction and communication, might be noticed early in childhood, a formal diagnosis often occurs later.
Oh, interesting. So not always caught early.
Right. And this highlights the ongoing need for greater understanding and earlier identification, something that impacts countless individuals and their families.
And that variability within the spectrum is so key for you to understand, isn't it? The WHO specifically states that the abilities and needs of autistic people vary and can evolve over time.
Exactly.
While some can live independently, others have severe disabilities and require lifelong care and support. Why is it so important for you, the listener, to recognize this wide range of experiences?
It's absolutely essential because it helps dismantle stereotypes and generalizations. If autism is portrayed as, a single entity, it can lead to misunderstandings and inappropriate expectations or assumptions about autistic individuals.
Yeah, I can see that.
Recognizing the spectrum acknowledges the unique strengths and challenges that each person experiences. And that's vital for providing the right kind of tailored support and fostering genuine inclusion in communities, workplaces, schools, places where you and everyone interact.
Mm-hmm.
It also reminds us that the support an autistic person needs can change throughout their life. It's not static.
Absolutely. Now, there's a topic that unfortunately still surfaces in discussions around autism, and that's the matter of vaccines. The UN sources address this directly. What's the definitive position, according to the WHO, that you should be aware of?
The WHO is very clear for you on this. Extensive research over many years has demonstrated that the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine does not cause autism.
Right. Unequivocal.
Absolutely. This isn't a point of ongoing scientific disagreement. The evidence overwhelmingly supports this conclusion.
And it's not just a casual dismissal, is it? The information goes into some detail about why those earlier studies, the ones suggesting a link, were ultimately proven incorrect.
That's right. The UN information point out for you that studies that were interpreted as indicating any such link were flawed.
Flawed.
And some of the authors had undeclared biases that influenced what they reported about their research. This really underscores the importance of rigorous scientific methodology and, frankly, transparency in research.
Good point.
Furthermore, the WHO also clearly states, quote, evidence also shows that other childhood vaccines do not increase risk.
Yeah.
This provides a comprehensive reassurance based on a substantial body of scientific evidence that you can rely on.
It's so important for you to have that clarity, especially, like you said, with the amount of misinformation that can circulate.
Yeah.
Now, let's come back to the central theme for you. Advancing neurodiversity and the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. How do these inclusive policies that the Secretary-General advocates for actually lead to positive change for autistic individuals and contribute to the SDGs in a way that feels real and tangible for you?
Okay, think about it this way for you. When healthcare systems are inclusive, autistic individuals receive the appropriate and timely care they need, right?
Right.
That contributes directly to the SDG goal of ensuring good health and well-being for all. Simple connection.
Makes sense.
Inclusive education ensures that autistic children and adults have the opportunity to learn and develop their skills, which aligns perfectly with the goal of quality education.
Oh, another clear link.
When work environments are adapted to be more neurodiversity friendly, autistic individuals can participate meaningfully in the economy, contributing to decent work and economic growth.
Yeah.
Even something like urban design, creating sensory-friendly spaces, can significantly enhance the quality of life and promote inclusive and sustainable cities.
That's a really interesting example.
The underlying principle for you to grasp is that by removing barriers and fostering supportive environments, we empower autistic individuals to thrive and contribute their unique talents and perspectives to society.
Uh-huh.
And that advances the SDGs in a more comprehensive and inclusive manner that benefits everyone.
That really helps to connect the dots. It's about building a society where everyone, including you and those around you, can fully participate and contribute their best. Now, the UN's involvement in this isn't something new, is it?
No, not at all.
The sources mention a long-standing commitment to diversity and the rights of persons with disabilities.
Indeed. The UN has a significant history in this area for you to be aware of. A key milestone was the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which came into force back in 2008.
2008, okay.
This convention really solidified the understanding that people with disabilities, including autistic individuals, possess the same fundamental human rights as everyone else.
And in that same year, 2008, the UN General Assembly unanimously declared April 2nd as World Autism Awareness Day. What was the core motivation behind establishing this specific day for you to understand?
Well, the unanimous declaration by all UN member states really underscores the global recognition of the urgent need to focus on autism.
Unanimous is significant.
It is. The explicitly stated purpose was to improve the quality of life of people with autism so they can lead full and meaningful lives as an integral part of society. It was about raising awareness, promoting understanding, and ultimately striving towards a more inclusive world for you and everyone.
So, to bring all of this together for you, the listener, what are the real key takeaways from this deep dive into World Autism Awareness Day 2025 based on the UN's message?
I think there are several critical points for you to remember. First, it's essential to recognize both the significant contributions that autistic individuals make to our world and the persistent challenges they continue to face. That balance is key.
Right, both sides.
Second, the 2025 theme powerfully connects neurodiversity, specifically focusing on autism, with the global pursuit of sustainability, emphasizing that inclusion ultimately benefits everyone, including you.
Okay.
Third, the scientific consensus on the lack of a link between vaccines and autism is firm and crucial for you to understand and share accurately. Don't fall for the misinformation.
Very important.
And finally, there's a clear call for governments and societies, including your own community, to adopt inclusive policies and create environments where autistic individuals have equal opportunities to thrive and contribute.
And the Secretary-General concludes with a direct call to action, doesn't he, for you and for global leaders?
Yes, he specifically urges governments to adopt legislation and policies that guarantee equality and promote the full participation of people with autism in society.
So it's about policy change.
This really underscores for you that systemic change, driven by policy, is absolutely essential for meaningful progress. It's not just about individual attitudes, though that's important too.
So, as we conclude this deep dive for you, it leaves me pondering a broader question. We've discussed how understanding and embracing different cognitive styles benefits people with autism and contributes to the UN's global goals.
Mm-hmm.
But how might a deeper understanding and embrace of all the diverse ways people think and perceive the world benefit all aspects of society? Going far beyond just the context of autism, for you and for everyone, it feels like there's a much larger conversation to be had there.
Absolutely. That's a vital question for you to consider. When we move beyond simply, tolerating differences and genuinely value the unique ways different minds work, well, we likely unlock levels of innovation, creativity, and problem-solving capabilities that we haven't even fully grasped yet.
Untapped potential.
Exactly. It suggests that embracing neurodiversity isn't just the right and ethical thing to do. It could be a fundamental key to unlocking a more vibrant, resilient, and successful future for you and for all of humanity.